My name is Christina Beneventi, and I'll be talking about dual code theory. So, what is dual code theory anyway? Dual code theory was founded by Alan Pivio in the 1960s. He wanted to give weight to learning with both visual and verbal representation. He said that humans' cognition is unique because it has become specialized for dealing with language and nonverbal objects and events. According to Pivio, there are two ways that a person could expand on learned material, with both visual imagery and verbal associations. Both visual and verbal information is used to represent this information. Visual and verbal information are processed differently in distinct channels of the human mind, creating separate representations for information processed in each channel. According to dual coding theory, ideas that can be represented both visually and verbally are easier to remember. These are examples such as ball, house, and dog, because they have concrete examples that students can see. With abstract ideas, it's a little bit more difficult to visualize, such as the word truth, ability, and value, because there is no concrete example for these. For example, a person can store the stimulus concept clock as both the word clock and as the image of a clock. When asked to recall the stimulus, the person can retrieve either the word or the image individually, or both at the same time. The ability to code a stimulus in two different ways increases the chance to remember that item, compared if you were to only code it one way. There are two types of coding. There's analog code and symbolic code. So let's learn about both. Analog code is used to mentally represent images. You retain the features of what's being represented, so it forms in a similar way to the physical stimuli. Symbolic code is when you mentally represent words. You represent something conceptually and arbitrarily. For example, the letter X is used to represent more than just the 24th letter of the alphabet. It can be used as a variable in math or as a symbol for multiplication. Evidence shows that memory for verbal information is enhanced if a relevant visual is also presented, or if the learner can imagine a visual image to go with the verbal information. This theory has been applied to the use of multimedia presentations. In each classroom, most teachers do use multimedia presentations to help students learn. Because presentations require both spatial and verbal working, memory, individuals dually code information presented to them and are more likely to recall the information when tested later. In an experiment done by Pivio, participants were shown a rapid sequence of pictures as well as a rapid sequence of words and later asked to recall the words and pictures. He found that participants were better at recalling images. Dual coding theory reminds us of the importance of supplementing verbal information with visual representations and vice versa. Using both will help students retain information into long-term memory better. This is because students can both hear what the lesson is about and see what the teacher is referring to when they have concrete representation or a visual aid to guide them through the lesson. As you teach, you can take advantage of dual coding in many ways, with pictures, diagrams, PowerPoint presentations, concrete examples, or interactive smartboards. So, how does this apply to our classrooms? Dual coding theory is used in a classroom every day when we make PowerPoint presentations or have concrete examples to go along with our lessons. This animation is also considered dual coding. So let's say you're teaching a science class and you want to teach your students about the solar system. The teacher would say, "Okay class, today we'll be reading our textbooks about the solar system. The solar system is made of planets, moons, asteroids, meteors, stars, and our sun. It was created 4.6 billion years ago. There are 8 planets in our system: Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. The only planet that is able to sustain life is the planet Earth." Students will give dialogue after reading this, such as, "This is too hard," "I don't know what the solar system is," and "I don't understand what these words mean." This is because they're only looking at auditory information. Now let's see how to properly teach about the solar system. When you teach something that cannot be physically seen by students, it's important to have concrete examples or models so that they can physically see it. Students will see concrete examples of the solar system since they can't physically see it. You can use pictures of the planets or a solar system model to show the students what it looks like. So let's review. Dual coding theory was developed by Alan Pivio in the 1960s to give equal weight to verbal and nonverbal processing. He said that humans can retain information better with both. This theory assumes that there are two cognitive subsystems, one for specialized representation and processing of nonverbal information, and the other specialized for dealing with language. Both are important for when it comes to putting long-term memory. Thanks for watching.